Hello, my name is Tebby Ramasike. I'm a South African choreographer, a Buto practitioner, a performer, a dance performer. I'm an actor and a cultural activist and a researcher in dance and a dance teacher, dance educator, basically. I'm based in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam. But because of my work as an artist all over Europe and other countries internationally, I'm mostly in the south of Belgium, in the countryside near Luxembourg. So it's easy, because I work in Paris, so it's easy to get to Paris, and it's easy to get to Germany. Well, I discovered Buto in 1992. Which actually changed my whole perspective about dance. Because my background is contemporary dance and classical ballet, so which is like two different worlds. But Buto became an answer of what I've been searching for about understanding my own body as a human being and also as a dancer. Well, I actually now hate calling myself a dancer. I prefer to say a performer. Yes. But then this is the second time I do this festival, and I actually realized that it's 5 years ago that I first... I realized that it's 5 years ago that I was part of this festival for the first time. Actually, I was always invited to be part of the festival. For some reason or other, I was discussing with Serge earlier on that like acoustic music was, I tried to run away from it. And strangely, because I used to create works and dance to avant-garde music, which is sort of similar. So I don't know why, maybe because of the name acoustic. Because avant-garde, it sounds so chic. I think, somehow. When I did the 4th edition of this festival, I was with Jacob Elkin, and it was a very big challenge, and it opened new doors for me on also appreciating this music. Well, we actually said earlier on, it's not music, it's sound. So we just decided it's not music. We should say sound. But it actually... all my fears of performing to it or appreciating it, well, I appreciated it, but doing something to it and understanding it went away. And that actually led to doing a bigger project for the European Capital of Culture in 2022. And Elizabeth Dembo was part of it, and Renee, who was also part of the 4th edition. So basically that means from this festival, something happened, new collaborations. So I think this festival is not only that it ends here, when we perform tonight and it's over, and I think it opens doors for future collaborations and possibilities and opportunities, because I've met very interesting artists virtual artists and composers as well. So now I met Serge, and I actually enjoyed his composition. And it was a challenge, but it wasn't as complex as I had thought. But it challenged me in a way that I couldn't find my place in it. And that I think that it also feeds into growing into somebody's work, composition in that matter, Serge's composition, and growing in that in a positive way. Instead of just like say, oh, I cannot do it, oh, it's difficult and all that, how do I do this? But I had to find ways. And the most important thing that happened is that I was rehearsing at Centre de Danse du Marais, and Serge came, and that actually made it easier for me to feel his composition because of his presence, because that really changes, because when I'm on my own, I have my own music in my head. So I could be playing his composition, but I have something else singing in my head. But his presence being there, and also his feedback afterwards, so that helped me to really find what I was doing and how I can develop that. So merci beaucoup, Serge, and congratulations. So I became a tree today, a beautiful tree.
Yeah, we have to specify that we have leaves here on the stage, so that's why I said Tebby was a tree.
Oh yes,
that's the thing.
True.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe I'll introduce myself. So my name is Serge Bouc. I'm French. I was born in Vienne, in France, long time ago, too long probably, and so that there are two main directions in my life. One of them is mathematics. I've been directeur de recherche at the CNRS in mathematics. Today I'm director emerite, so I'm retired in a way. And the other main direction is sound synthesis. So since I was, I don't know, maybe 14 or 15, I like that. I found it just wonderful to put three electronic things together and produce sound from that. And of course, I just didn't know at the time that I was more or less reinventing the wheel. But it always fascinated me, and so I always had these two kind of things together. And then of course I learned. It was kind of fashionable at the time to learn guitar in particular, so I play a bit of guitar, and later I learned a bit of piano, but I'm not a genuine musician, you know. I can't read, I essentially can't read music. And what happened is that during my life, I happened to come to Amiens, where I live today, and at some point I had some friends who were genuine musicians, and in particular some professors at the Conservatoire d'Amiens. And someday I happened to meet there one of the professors, who is Pierre Bosvillewald, and he was the professor of the class of electro-acoustic music in Amiens. And I was fascinated by this new world I discovered. So far I had only heard of, say, classical music, jazz music, or rock and roll, or things like that. But there it was completely different. And I followed the course of Pierre. And since then I've continued, and I still, today Pierre is a friend of mine. And I continued also doing sound synthesis. Since throughout my life I did that. And that's the reason of this maybe, how did she say, this intriguing title of my composition tonight, which is actually a joke, which is called addictive synthesis, because there is a procedure in sound synthesis which is called additive synthesis, and I found it was a good way of summarizing my trajectory through that. And so, what about Tebby now? Actually, no, don't go away. So, actually, I first met, well, not really met, Tebby. I was in Mexico, so it was a Zoom meeting. And then I started explaining to me what he felt when hearing the composition I made. And we discussed a little while and promised to meet in September, I think it was.
Yes.
Yes. And then that's what we did. Actually, we met in Paris at a place he mentioned before. And to me, it was quite fascinating because he started explaining and showing me what he planned to do during this performance. And when he did that, even the very beginning of it, I understood things in my composition that I never understood before. Yeah, no, but that's right. I told you that. Yes. And it was amazing to me. And again, tonight it was exactly the same because, well, you do this composition. It's kind of solitary work, you know. You work with computers, with machines to produce sound and so on. And at the end, well, you like it, but you have no idea what of the effect it can produce on other people. Yeah. And then another people comes and shows you very, very concrete things. I mean, the movements, the feeling of the space, and that is related to what you did, and it's something I could not imagine before. And that's really a very nice feeling to have that. So, thanks.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, David.
Thanks to you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
And actually, there's something that actually is very interesting what you said about me, how I interpreted your composition. Because the first time when Michel asked me if I could pair with Serge, so I was Googling you, but there were so many Serge books, but on the thing, on Google, but then I eventually found you and saw your background. I was like, oh my God, no. I cannot. This person is well known. I'm just gonna not. I was so afraid in the beginning. I said, he's just gonna not like what I'm doing.
You know what? You know what? When I learned that we would be working together. I did just the same as you. I Googled your name, and I saw, well, this guy is born in South Africa, is now living in Netherlands or Belgium, and has done lots and lots of dancing all around the world and performances and so. What can I do with this guy? I assure you, it's true. I mean, this is really true. So.
Yes, this is another thing. But there's something also like today, because was the first time I came to this space. It's magical. It's amazing. When I arrived this morning and Michel opened the door and I said, wow, it's like an alternative theater. But then I was coming up here and his composition, Serge's composition was on. And then just that sound coming from the speakers, just like, and I said to him, oh, I'm changing. Yeah, because the space being there physically, it gives a different energy. And then hearing that sound was really like, wow, my body, the way my body was reacting. And so I was like, okay, this is what I need. This is what this sound is telling me. So my body immediately found its way into that, and I think it's one of the most important festivals that I think should be. It's not done everywhere, and I think this is the only. I think it's only here. I think it's only here, and because last week I was rehearsing in Luxembourg, and just before I was to start teaching, and my students came in. They said, "Oh, is that music for Buto?" Yes, and they're not Buto dancers, they do African dance. And this was like, I said like, oh, so you see, your composition is for Buto. So it's really, they know.
Yeah.
And I said, yes, this is the music I have to perform to, but I don't know what I'm gonna do. I first have to go to the theater and see what I will do. Yeah, and it's been quite a very interesting journey, and I'm very, very honored to have worked with you, to have been able to interpret your music, your composition, and hopefully I succeeded.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
hopefully I succeeded. Yeah, because like I know for you, it's for composers, it's very easy. They compose music, they give to the dancer, the choreographer. It's up to you what you do. So for them, your task is done, you know. So the challenge is up to us to be able, like, it's like, will they like it? Will they like it? Yeah, that's why I had said to you, it's important that we meet even once, just to feel each other's energy. And that really helped me a lot.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that really helped me a lot, yes. Because with Jacob, I only met him on the day we had the technical rehearsal. And the funniest thing, we were communicating by email, and I was thinking he was an older man. And there was this little boy, and I was just like thinking, this little boy, what does he compose this music? Oh, boys are composing pop music. But he was really like so focused. He was explaining everything as well as you explained to me when we had our Zoom meeting. Because I think for us as choreographers and performers, it's very important to know from the composer what the composition is about, what is the story behind that, so that we are able to be truthful to the composition, because they can have another story and I can develop another story, and then doesn't come together. But having that communication, the dialogue and the exchange is very important. And I think Michel, for bringing this festival into life, has actually opened many doors of communication as well, and I'm very grateful for that. I'm very honored. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you. Yeah, Tebby's right. We're all thankful to Michel for organizing this, and with this wonderful idea of mixing those two, as who said that night, those two spaces of freedom together, and yeah, that's really nice, and for me, in fact, as a composer, it's also a very good motivation to do something, to be pushed by a concrete goal. You have to do this for that date, and then you work, and you have something in mind, and you think of it every day, and try to but with such wonderful interprets as Tebby, you have you're almost sure of the result. So and
C'est toi qui as interprété ce soir.
C'est moi qui ai, yes, I directed the composition. Yes, yeah, and also I directed the previous composition of Pierre Bosilval, who unfortunately is sick and couldn't be here to do this himself. So, yeah.
And somebody in the public actually asked me, how long did we work together with the music? How long did I work together with your music? And I said, actually, not that much, you know. And I was rehearsing, but I had another music in my mind. But at the same time, and I said, like, you know, like today, actually, what happened is that when we did it, the technical run through, it felt very short. That's why I said, like, did you cut the music? Did you change the music? And I think I was starting to feel more comfortable. And because I was struggling a little bit with, especially with the end, because it's always the same feeling, same sensation. And even tonight, and which is actually a very good thing, because this is what I always do with my dancers, that until you go on stage, you have to keep listening and singing the music and doing the movements. And I found myself listening to your composition before I went on stage. And I was just like, I have to listen to. And now I was like thinking, you always push your dancers to this, now you're doing this. And without you saying that to me, so you said it to me indirectly through your composition. Mm-hmm. So I actually like that challenge, and it's very, very interesting. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And the end was beautiful. I mean, when you just went on dancing with no sound, and except the small noise of the leaves on the ground, and it was just perfect. I think.
Yes, actually, that only came out tonight.
Yeah.
Actually, that came out tonight. I don't know why, but
it's a creation.
Yeah, this is also why I said earlier on that when you have the public, it also will give a different energy.
Sure.
Yes, so this was something else, but that silence also was sound in itself, was music. I was carrying also the end part of your composition in my body, so that I could continue into that and then the leaves were coming.
And and everybody told me that actually there was a kind of cyclic movement in the whole piece, that both the music and the dancing just have this cyclic aspect. Yes.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci.
Thank you.
Merci.